Damon Gonzalez from Latinbox Sports, your boxing champions.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Slip Punches Show. This is Damon Gonzalez. We're reporting live from the studios, from the Slip Punches Show studios. We have a special guest coming on with us in the show, and we are very delighted to have him come on. We're looking forward to this fighter fighting in a tremendous fight coming up in February. We're super excited about the fight. It's going to be on February 13th, and it's probably going to be the co-main event for Joseph Jojo Diaz and Makhimov. So without further ado, let's bring on veteran fighter Ronny Rios to the show. Let's welcome Ronny Rios to the show.
How you doing, David? Thank you for the introduction. And I think it's not the co-main event. I think it's the one below the co-main event, if I'm not mistaken. I think.
Okay. Yeah. Ronny, man, it's such a pleasure having you on the show. The first things first, we want to ask you is how things, through all this COVID-19. How's your family? How are you doing?
We've been good, thank goodness. I hope everything's been good on your side. We've been good. We've actually managed to stay training this whole time. Even since I haven't fought since 2019 November 3rd. And since that time, I've only taken 2 days off consecutively. Or I've taken 1 day here and there, but I've been training nonstop since then. So, our weight has not been an issue. Our timing has not been an issue. The only thing was that they just kept postponing fights, and then there were certain fighters that were just not accepting the fights. So it was just that was a little bit more frustrating than anything, to be honest with you.
I'll tell you, Ronny. Let's just put it out there. Bravo. Tremendous career that you have put together in the sport of boxing. Coming Santa Ana, California, amateurs, getting into the pros, your first TKO pro debut knockout against Perez, it all took off from there. How humbling is when you look back and you reflect on your life and reflect on where you've gone so far in the sport. Tell the fans how you feel about that.
I mean, first of all, thank you for that extraordinary introduction. And to answer your question, to be honest with you, I'm being 100% honest with you. I feel like I still haven't gotten to where I want to gotten. There's been so many fights out there that I went out there and I didn't perform to my expectations. Yeah, I won, but it wasn't to what I wanted to perform. And I think a lot of it had to do with a lot of the mental aspect of boxing. A lot of people don't understand that boxing is more mental than physical. Honest, that is like the honest answer right there. And but I still haven't reflected on my career yet because I feel young still. I'm 31. I just turned 31 last month, but I feel like I'm in my early 20s. It's funny because everybody's always asking me, how do you feel now that you're 31? I feel like I have more energy now than I did in my early 20s. I'll be honest with you. Before, I remember I would have the worst sleeping habits. Now I'm up at 5, 6 in the morning. I'm a week away from the weigh-in right now, and I still have a ton of energy. Like, they got to slow me down. And I don't know, man. I guess it's just experience and age.
Let's talk, and we were discussing this earlier a few minutes ago. Back in a couple of years back, you fought on the undercard of Miguel Cotto and Canelo, and it was a great night that night. And you were one of the fighters that had that, I want to say, privilege of fighting under HBO. And that's such a legacy for any professional boxer to fight under that platform at that time. Now in the new generation with the Zone, how excited are you for this opportunity? Because this platform, the Zone, has really taken off.
Yeah. I'm really excited, to be honest with you, because the Zone is something new. We were so used to HBO, Showtime, even back in the older days, CBC, like all those channels. So this is something new to our era, and I feel like it's been picking up, and it's an honor. This is my third time fighting on the Zone. This is my third, yes, and it's exciting. My outcomes have been great, thank goodness, and it's more motivating just to get back in the ring, especially now. This pandemic has not just slowed me down, but it slowed the whole world. So this is something that I'm looking forward to. Me and my team and I.
Champ, I want to ask you, of course, as a professional fighter, as a champion, you've held them all. You've had opportunities in your career. You won the green belt, the WBC, the most beautiful belt in the sport. You've done so many accomplishes, and I kind of hear in a sense you're a little hard on yourself with your accomplishments. Why so?
I don't know. It's funny because at the gym, they was telling me that no one's my hardest critic than myself. You know,
Yeah,
there's
right.
I've been camp has been such an amazing camp. It's been one of our best camps ever, and I still find the mistakes I'm still doing, and they're always like, hey, you're being too hard on yourself. Like, enjoy. I don't think I'm gonna be able to enjoy it till when it's all said and done. Because right now, I just want. I know there's no such thing as a perfect fighter, but I want to get close to being a technician. You know, as close as I can. And I'm always gonna be critical of myself because I'm hard on myself. That's just the way I am.
Like, again, through all these years being in the sport, I've been so blessed around and what have you. I always ask other people in the media, I always ask amateur fighters, hey, you know this fighter, you know that fighter. And of course, your name always, always, always comes up. And the reason why I feel it comes up because you're such a leader and inspiration to the younger generation. There's a lot of kids that look up to you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, it means a lot. Like if I can spread some positivity, because not every day is gonna be sunshine and rainbows for fighters, or for anything in that matter. It's just you just gotta keep grinding. You just gotta not listen to like all those negativity comments and all those people that are gonna try to bring you down. And I just think you gotta consistently work on yourself more important than anything, because like I always tell people, I watch tapes of my opponents, but I watch more tape of me because I gotta correct what I'm making wrong. You always gotta focus on your strength, not your weak. You always gotta focus on your strength and correct weaknesses, not focus on your opponent's weaknesses.
Now, I'll tell you, champ, you didn't just walk into this. This has been your life since what age did you start?
13 and a half. Well, I was about 4 or 5 months away from being 14.
And how did that come about? What made you decide that day at that time at a little boy to say, yeah, okay, let me
Yeah.
pick up these gloves? How'd that come about?
So my mom went on a trip with her husband at the time, which my parents had divorced, so she went on a trip with them. I don't. I'm pretty sure you've heard of Alexis Rocha. He's my brother.
Yes.
So
Okay.
we have the same mom but different dads. So they went on a little trip, and she left us with my uncle Ramiro. He's a veteran. He's the Marines, but he's a boxing fanatic. Like when he took care of us, I remember I was just picking up like random KO magazines, Ring magazines. What was it? Boxing Weekly magazines. I was just reading them, and I remember there was this fight matchup that caught my attention. It was Vernon Forrest versus Shane Mosley Part Two. And I
How
was like,
was
man, yeah. I was
that?
like, man, those are some cool names.
Yes.
So I started reading like their backgrounds and stuff. Like, man, this is interesting. And then I started reading more. I started reading more. The very first fight that I saw, like full on from beginning to finish, was Floyd Mayweather versus Jose Luis Castillo Part Two. That was the
Wow.
very first fight. And then after that, I just started watching. After that, I watched Freso Kendall versus Chris Bird. I started watching all the fights I can watch. And I don't know. Ever since then, I've always boxing's always caught my attention.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear, man. So, listen, how did it come about years ago when you signed with Golden Boy? How did that come about? Where did they find you or hear about you? The word was in the street. How did that come about for you? Because again, like I said, you have really, really accomplished so much in this sport. And I give you props for that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And they had contacted us after a couple of fights. One of my previous managers that we used to have, he said that they're interested. So of course we're like, hell yeah, Golden Boy. We jumped out the opportunity, and we signed with Golden Boy. And I was just like, oh man, it's just like a dream come true, because it is a dream come true. And then after that, I just I started, obviously fighting and stuff like that. We started working with Golden Boy Promotions, but it wasn't until where I really got to know Robert Diaz, where we built a friendship. It was more like a friend, it was more than a business relationship. It was like a strong bond, and I haven't looked anywhere else ever since then because of Robert.
That's awesome. And Robert's a great, great
Yeah,
person. And big shout out to Oscar De La Hoya.
of course.
Happy birthday to Mr. De La Hoya today.
Happy
Today
birthday.
celebrates his birthday.
Tell him not to
So
party too much
Ronnie,
because I heard he's coming back. So
yeah, man, I'll tell you, when these veteran nostalgia fighters decide to make decisions like that, it's kind of tough,
yeah,
because we being around boxing, the last thing we want to see is somebody that we care about get hurt in the ring.
yeah,
That's the number one thing. So, moving right along, let's jump right in it. You got this big fight coming up against Oscar Negrete. You both have been Golden Boy fighters for quite some time. And what's going on here? This is a good, great matchup.
yeah.
What are your thoughts about the matchup? And we'll get into your thoughts about Negrete.
This is an awesome matchup. He comes forward. He's a fan friendly fighter, and I just think that's good. But obviously boxing hasn't been on TV too much, so what a good year to open up boxing with this fight. And Jojo's fight as well too. So it's a good matchup. To be honest, it's gonna be a fan friendly fight.
Now, one of your most remarkable wins, of course, has been with Diego De La Hoya.
Yeah,
Besides we can go into the tons of knockout wins that you've had and what have you. But again, this is another fighter in front of you. What are your thoughts of the fight?
my thoughts of the fight are he's gonna come to fight, so I don't have to go out and look for him. He's coming to me. So there's a couple things I can do. That we've obviously worked different game plans for this fight. But at the end of the day, I just think it's gonna be a matter of condition and will at this because you can train all you want, but once you go out into the ring, it's a whole different mindset when those lights are on, when that TV's on, it all changes. But we're experienced. He's experienced. I just want to go out there and give the fans a great fight and the
And,
people too.
and definitely a great fight is going to be, man. I'm super excited to see that fight because, again, it's a very, very tough fight. And I'm still scratching my head because you both have certain styles that just makes for excitement.
Yeah,
And it's definitely going to be a very exciting fight.
of course.
Ronnie, your team around you, man, give a shout out to your team. And that's so important because there is so much involved with preparing for such a big fight like this, because this is important.
Of course. I want to give a shout out to Hector, Hector Lopez, Caesar, Rob, even Dr. Jones too. They've been very crucial to me, to my career for the last couple of years, and they've been really, really been pulling their weight right now because I've been really pushing them. Like this camp, I really, really put them through hell. So they stuck with it. I'm sorry for being such an a-hole at times because I love to just get everything down to the T, and that means if we have to put in overtime in the gym and possibly a third workout, they've been able to do it and they have been willing to do it. So shout out to my team, shout out to everybody that's always supported it. My family who give me my space. Like right now is the most important part because you just kind of want to be left alone because you just want to focus. And obviously I'm not struggling with weight, but you can't eat what you want to eat, and you can't eat big meals.
Right.
So you kind of want to be left alone. You don't want to be bothered with these questions and stuff like that. Not from you, but from like people around you, like the same questions, like, "Oh, are you ready?" The next person that asks me, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. I gotta cut like 30 pounds. I don't know how I'm gonna do it."
Hey, try drinking RX water, bro. That's good stuff, man.
I heard.
I've
I
lost
seen a
some
lot of
weight. I'm losing weight drinking that water, bro. It's
That's
good
good, man.
stuff,
Keep it up,
man.
especially with this pandemic going on.
Yeah, and you haven't really fought in the pandemic. However, I mean, come on, champ. We're fans of this sport. We love this
Of course.
sport. So I'm sure you've seen the zone fights in their bubbles, in their
Yeah.
quarantines. You've seen the top ranked fights in their bubbles. all the fights across the board. Have you gave it thought? Have you thought about, does it matter? Does it not matter? Have you thought about it, fighting behind closed doors?
I haven't thought about it, to be honest with you, because a ring's a ring, you know. So at the end of the day, I just need a ring and gloves, and I already got the opponent. So it's just, it's just another mindset that I gotta overcome, to be honest with you.
That's awesome. Champ, listen, so important. Give a tremendous shout out to all your fans and followers. Plug them in because it's so important. So many people stand by you,
Thank you.
ride and die, man. You're a great fighter, man. I always have mad love and respect for you. So
Likewise.
please, man, Champ, give a shout out to your fans.
I just want to do a shout out to my fans. Thank you guys. You guys honestly are what makes this sport great. When someone comes up to you and tells you something positive, it lightens the mood, and it's one of the many reasons why we do this. So thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Ronnie, how important in your heart is this win for you in a couple of weeks?
I think any win is important. Nothing overshadows another one. Every win is important. So I gotta treat this just like any other fight. Every fight is important from this point on.
Ronnie, say something to the younger generation of boxing, all these young fighters that are out there and they come to the gyms and they understand at their young ages, they see what you're going through.
Yeah.
So there's like a borderline there. They don't cross that line because they understand you're in preparation. But what would you say to the younger kids today in the sport of boxing?
You know what? Just go out there and make sure you guys give it your best. It's not all about how hard you work out. It's all about dedication, about discipline, about doing the little things. Doing the little things that are gonna get you to the next level. That's what's important.
So again, during this process, we it's intense and there's a lot involved. What else do you do? Do you like fishing? Do you play video games? There's something else that relaxes Ronnie that we don't know about?
I take my little man to the park. I have a 3-year-old.
All right.
That's before next month. So I take him to the park. I take him. Oh, not right now because it's closed right now. I take him to Disneyland. I like to take him out and about. I like to spend time with the wife too. So that I'm more of a family man, to be honest with you.
Big shout out to your family, man. That's the nucleus to Ronny Rios. That's basically the nucleus, and a huge shout out to them and respect to your family. And we really wish you luck and well on your fight. We're super excited. We're looking forward to it. How can people listening that don't follow you, like on Instagram or social media, how can they follow you?
They can follow me on Ronny_Rios_ at Instagram.
Ronnie, again, we thank you for taking time out of your training camp to talk to us. Later on this evening, we're going to talk to Oscar Negrete.
Okay.
You have any words you want to say to Oscar on the show?
No, I don't have any words. Just go out there and have a good fight. Give the fans what they want. And I know he always comes prepared, so I don't have anything to say to him.
Thank you so much. And we really appreciate this interview. And thank you, Golden Boy Promotions, for making this interview happen, champ. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
I'll see you in a week.
All right. Take care, champ. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this afternoon on the Slip Punches Show with Ronny Rios. Great fighter, 32, 3-16. We're looking forward to his fight against Oscar Negrete coming up. We'll be joined by Oscar Negrete at 6:30 this evening to talk about this fight, to talk about his career. And once again, we thank you on behalf of Damon Gonzalez. We're tuning out until later today. Thank you.